Welcome to the development of a joint all-domain command control environment presentation. During this presentation, we'll discuss the introduction, discuss a little bit of the organization overview, look at the problem, talk about the project staff for this project. We'll look a little bit at 3 goals: strategic alignment, innovative strategies, peer competitiveness, and then we'll follow up with impact of business process and enterprise systems and big data. Innovation and advancement are the key to successful combat operations and homeland defense. Every advancement is unique, thus unique is not unique, but expected in victory. Innovation is key and is not a new concept, but like uniqueness is also expected in victory. Combat operations and defense of our nation is constantly changing environment, and failure to adapt results in mission failure. As technology and access to new operational domains have been opened, the challenge to ensure superiority in air, space, land, sea, and cyberspace has become highly contested. With the old mentality of conducting operations individually with each domain by each service, integration efforts have been made, but unless integration is made at the initial joint inception, then it will never truly be completely integrated. The organizational structure of our military forces are part of the Home Department of Defense and consists of the Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, Army, and the new Space Force. The Coast Guard is part of the Department of Defense during wartime operations and part of the Department of Homeland Security during peacetime. U.S. military forces are responsible for defending the United States both internally from foreign threats and from abroad by defending ours and our allies' interests at our peers' competitors' doorstep instead of at our own. The U.S. military has divided the globe into 8 geographic combatant regions. Each region has a joint combatant commander assigned by the military service that has the predominant domain responsibilities for that region. An example of this is the Pacific Theater, which is predominantly water and has a Navy admiral assigned as the joint combatant commander. Each service will support the joint command with a service-specific operations center run by service-specific personnel, such as the Air Force Air Operations Center, Army Tactical Operations Center, Naval Operations Center, and the Marine Tactical Operations Center. Each operations center is responsible for fielding its service-specific command and control systems for coordinating their forces in support of their joint commander. Herein lies the problem. Each service finances and contracts its own command and control enterprise solution for managing its service forces. The Air Force contracts through Raytheon Technologies for the Battlespace Command and Control Center system called BC-3. The Army utilizes the DARPA-produced Tactical Control Manager, and the Navy contracts the TACOP system from Boeing subsidiaries Tapestry Solutions and Jepson. The systems are not integrated or compatible, and as a result, each service plans, controls, and executes independently from each other in a concurrent but separate construct. An integrated solution has been a challenge because each program is funded by its specific service, and each service wants their program to be the sole joint system. As a result of incompatible and separate command and control systems for each service, joint planning for operations is conducted independently. The Joint Force Commander will provide guidance to each service, who then plan and execute independently. While the service's plans all align with the Joint Commander's intent, the execution is not joint, but instead is parallel. The creation of a Joint All-Domain Command and Control System, abbreviated as JADC2, that operates as a joint level of command will need a joint project team that will contract, design, and implement a service-agnostic system for true joint integration. The first staff member will be the executive sponsor. The executive sponsor is responsible for advocating for the overall project, capabilities, and integration to senior leadership, the Budget and Acquisitions Board, and as a final authority as the ultimate decision maker. The most important position is the project manager. The project manager is responsible for the overall development of the project plan to include timelines, budget, deliverables, phase changes, project team staffing, and presentation of deliverables to the executive sponsor. Key attributes of a project manager are leadership. Second would be communication skills to senior leadership, project team coordination, and end users. Skill at scheduling. And finally, most importantly, patience with the stresses of project management, staffing, financial shortages, timeline changes, and service inquiries. The liaison contractor is the next position, is a common team position when dealing with government contracts. This individual is key in communication between the project team and the company fulfilling the project contract. The individual is typically an employee of that contracted company. The final group is the team members themselves. The project will undergo multiple stages in creation, and the staffing requirements will change with each phase. The staffing members are responsible for completing assigned objectives, providing deliverables, act as subject matter experts in the project requirements as a representative of the end user's needs, and as a touch point for the end users when the project is fielded. The overarching objective of the JADC project is to raise the planning and command and control of forces in an integrated enterprise environment. This will help align the strategic objectives of the joint commander into a joint collaborative environment. The standard development model between government agencies and contractors is the Waterfall development lifecycle model. While this is an older model, it is beneficial in this case for simplicity of financial management. Parts of the prototype model can be utilized in this project to provide the end users with modular portions of the project to test each service's requirements as the various parts are integrated. The biggest benefit is the feedback opportunity provided with testing prototype systems. Several remarks have already been made about joint planning. As planning stands now, each service plans simultaneously yet independently of each other to meet the joint commander's guidance. The negative aspect of this planning method is that 5 services are utilizing an entire staff worth of personnel to create a plan that wastes potential resources. Multiple services may plan on utilizing aircraft in a particular region where a single service could have provided the desired effect. Another example is the Army and the Marines may plan to take the same objective, potentially causing fratricide to friendly forces. The JADC2 system will improve the overall planning process by bringing together the experts from each service to formulate an integrated, all-domain plan that shares the strengths of each service, eliminates redundant missions, and maximizes the availability of assets in the theater of operations. Moving the planning to the joint level will reduce the number of planners required per service and consolidate the corporate knowledge at a single location. The planning staff at the service operation centers can then be released back to their service components to resume flying aircraft, driving tanks, or navigating ships. As technology gets more complicated, costs increase with development with that technology. Each aircraft, tank, and ship generation upgrade costs reduce the available budget for personnel, facilities, and equipment. The balance between personnel and equipment is an ever ongoing fight. The services have conducted multiple reductions in personnel over the last 10 years in an effort to increase budgeting for equipment. As a result, staffing positions in every service have been left unfilled, and those that are filled are filling the roles of 2 to 3 individuals by one person. The JADC2 system will help relieve those staffing shortfalls by pooling the services personnel together and allowing the services to continue upgrading their aging fleets of aircraft, ships, and tanks. Aircraft, ships, and tanks cost hundreds of millions to over $1 billion each. Much of that cost is in the development of the systems by contract companies such as Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Airbus, Raytheon, etc. In recent years, competitors have stolen billions of dollars worth of research through systems hacking, academic embedded spies, and government individuals feeding information to those competitors. These competitors gain the advantage of billions of dollars of research for little to no cost, and can then begin immediate implementation of that technology against U.S. forces. In addition, the U.S. then has to begin development on even more effective technology to combat their own advanced technology stolen by those peer competitors. Finally, the tyranny of distance has stretched U.S. assets extremely thin. Our presence around the world helps ensure that our peer competitors are forced around their own borders instead of worrying about the U.S. borders. However, several nations have begun aggressive actions against their neighbors and allies of the United States. Some examples include the 9-dash line, drawn by China declaring that all of the South China Sea belongs to China, which includes multiple islands from every country within the region. In Iran of the Middle East has conducted to infiltrate terror groups into Syria in an attempt to disrupt the regions and draw in additional U.S. involvement within that region. Russia annexed Crimean Peninsula by force through guerrilla warfare and political assassinations. And finally, North Korea has developed nuclear weapon capabilities and continues to threaten their use against the U.S. and its regional allies. The goal of this entire project is to completely re-envision how planning and operations work. Elevating planning to a joint system that can be used also to integrate the command and control of those forces will change the focus of Joint Operations Center from an oversight organization supporting the Joint Commander to a direct action Joint Center taking on the combined role of each service's Tactical Operations Center. This will result in a dissolution of the Tactical Operations Centers, or at the least, a reduction of the Service Tactical Operations Centers to a tactical monitoring location for regional service-specific coordination. Another impact to business operations is loss of general officer leadership positions. These positions are very jealously protected by each service as a way of training general officers in future operations. The potential loss of general officer positions can exceed more than 25 generals per geographic region, with a consolidation of planning and C2 into the joint operations area environment. Looking at the enterprise systems and big data, each service manages its own data centers, as well as extremely robust theater-specific information systems. In addition, each service maintains its own division of computer support personnel in support of each service's operation centers. A great benefit of the JADC2 integration into the Joint Operations Center will be the consolidation of each service's data centers into a single data center and a reduction of the overall number of technicians to maintain the systems. The JADC2 system can also include multinational military networks integrated into the backbone of the system as a form of information sharing between partner nations. The reduction of multinational networks, servers, clients, and technicians in existing tactical operations centers from all nations supporting the networks will be reduced overall costs to all services. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and here's a list of references for additional material.